Have you ever heard of a Mrs. Watanabe? No, it's not the latest sushi roll making waves in Japan. It's actually a term used to describe Japanese housewives who took the Forex market by storm. Now let's set the stage. Picture this, a typical Japanese housewife, let's call her Mrs. Watanabe. But this isn't your average soap opera housewife. Oh no, instead of swapping recipes or discussing the latest neighborhood gossip, she's busy crunching numbers, analyzing currency trends, and making strategic investment decisions. Yes, folks, we're talking about Forex trading here. And it's not just a hobby, it's serious business. You see, back in the early 2000s, Japan's interest rates were lower than a limbo stick at a beach party. This led many, including our dear Mrs. Watanabe, to seek higher profits through online Forex trading platforms. Suddenly, a new breed of traders was born, the Mrs. Watanabes. They borrowed money in low-interest currencies and invested it in high-interest ones, a strategy known as carry trade. It's like shopping for the best deal at a supermarket, but instead of canned goods, it's currencies. Now you might be thinking, a housewife as a Forex trader? That's like a fish climbing a tree. Well, my friend, these housewives were not just climbing trees, they were scaling the Forex market Everest. And the view from the top? Let's just say it had more zeros than a binary code. So, if you thought your grandma's knitting club was intense, wait till you hear about the adventures of a Mrs. Watanabe. Imagine this, 1 minute you're folding laundry, the next you're trading yen for dollars, hoping to make a quick buck. Welcome to the world of a Mrs. Watanabe, a world where domestic bliss and financial prowess coexist in harmony. Picture this, Mrs. Watanabe, our intrepid housewife, is up at the crack of dawn. She's got a baby on her hip, a vacuum in her hand, and the Tokyo Stock Exchange on her mind. While her neighbors are busy gossiping about the latest soap opera plot twist, she's analyzing the financial news, trying to predict how the yen will fare against the dollar. And just as she's about to take a bite of her tamagoyaki, her phone chimes. It's a Forex alert. She quickly wipes her hands, grabs her phone, and with a few swift taps, she's just made a profitable trade. Talk about a power breakfast. But let's not forget, she's still a housewife. So, in between diaper changes and school runs, she's also juggling interest rates, exchange rates, and market trends. It's a high-stakes game of risk and reward. 1 minute, she's wondering if she has enough soy sauce for tonight's dinner. The next minute, she's pondering if the Federal Reserve will increase interest rates. It's like living in two worlds at once, one filled with household chores, and the other filled with high-risk financial activities. And then there's the evening. While most of us unwind with a good book or a TV show, Mrs. Watanabe is huddled over her laptop, analyzing market trends, preparing for her next trading day. She's got one eye on the global news and the other on her sleeping family. It's multitasking at its best and most absurd. Who knew that making your morning coffee while calculating currency exchange rates could be a thing, right? Yet, for Mrs. Watanabe, it's just another day in the life of a Forex trading housewife. You might think Mrs. Watanabe learned about Forex trading from a secret ancient Japanese scroll, but you'd be wrong. Imagine, if you will, a quiet kitchen in the heart of Tokyo. The aroma of miso soup and sushi rice fills the air. But our heroine, Mrs. Watanabe, isn't just preparing dinner. Oh no, she's simultaneously mastering the art of Forex trading. How, you ask? Well, let me enlighten you. You might think she's been attending night classes at the prestigious Tokyo University, or perhaps she's been apprenticing under a Wall Street wizard who moonlights as a samurai. But no, our savvy Mrs. Watanabe has been diligently learning the ropes of Forex trading through, drumroll please, YouTube tutorials. Yes, that's right. The same platform where you watch cute cat videos and fail compilations is where Mrs. Watanabe is earning her stripes in currency trading. She's been juggling between stirring pots, folding laundry, and learning about pips, leverage, and carry trades. She's been taking in the wisdom of online trading gurus, all while making sure her sushi rolls are perfectly round. Who knew that YouTube, a site filled with pranks and music videos, could also be an unofficial Forex trading academy? And let's not forget those late-night study sessions. Picture Mrs. Watanabe poring over Forex charts and market analysis reports, her face illuminated by the glow of her laptop screen, long after everyone else in the house has nodded off to dreamland. She's even turned to online trading forums, where she trades tips and strategies with fellow traders from around the world. Who would have thought that the internet, a place where you can buy a 10-foot inflatable dinosaur costume, could also be a hub for serious financial education? So, the next time you're scrolling through YouTube tutorials, remember, you could be learning the secrets of the Forex market. Did you know that a bunch of housewives can change the global economy? You better believe it. Mrs. Watanabe's, our beloved Japanese housewives, are not just experts in making the tastiest sushi rolls or the perfect matcha tea. They're also dab hands at playing the global currency markets. These savvy homemakers have been stirring up the Forex markets with the same finesse they whip up their miso soup. With the low interest rates in Japan, they've turned their living rooms into trading floors, clicking their mouses, and making some serious yen. And we're not talking about a few spare coins found behind the sofa cushions. Now imagine this. Mrs. Watanabe, in her comfy slippers and apron, just casually influencing the global economy between laundry loads. While her miso simmers on the stove, she's simmering up a carry trade, borrowing in low-interest currencies and investing in higher ones. And voila, she's just made a profit while folding the laundry. But it's not all about the money. Mrs. Watanabe's impact is felt far and wide. They've shaken up the financial world, proving that you don't need a fancy suit or an Ivy League degree to play the markets. With a little bit of knowledge, a good internet connection, and a dash of daring, they've shown that anyone can have a slice of the Forex pie. And let's not forget their impact on Japan's economy. These ladies are helping to keep the wheels of the economy turning, contributing to the cash flow and giving a whole new meaning to the term domestic economy. Their influence is so strong that economists, traders, and even central bankers pay close attention to their moves. Can you imagine the Bank of Japan governor waiting for Mrs. Watanabe's next trade before making his monetary policy decision? It's like a financial soap opera, but with real-world consequences. So next time you see a housewife, remember, she might just be influencing the global economy from her kitchen. What's the difference between a Mrs. Watanabe and a Wall Street trader? The location of their office. Now let's talk about the one thing that makes the world go round: money. The earning potential of a Mrs. Watanabe may surprise you. You might think, how much can a housewife trading currencies from her kitchen table really make? Well, let me put it this way. They're not just buying an extra sushi roll with their earnings. A Mrs. Watanabe can earn a significant income by capitalizing on the carry trade, which involves borrowing money in a low-interest currency and investing it in a high-interest currency to profit from the interest rate differential. It's a bit like borrowing a cup of sugar from your neighbor, turning it into a delicious cake, and then selling slices at the local bake sale. A Wall Street Forex trader, on the other hand, has a whole different ballgame. They're dealing with massive transactions, high pressure, and the stress of a volatile market. Their earnings can be astronomical, but so too can their losses. So how does a Mrs. Watanabe stack up against a Wall Street trader? Well, it's like comparing apples and oranges, or more accurately, sushi and hot dogs. Both can be profitable, but they come with different risks and rewards. Mrs. Watanabe's earnings may not reach the stratospheric heights of a Wall Street trader, but they also don't have the same overhead costs. There's no need for a fancy office, expensive suits, or a high-octane lifestyle. And let's not forget, Mrs. Watanabe can trade in her pajamas while sipping a cup of tea. Now that's what I call a work-life balance. So if you're looking to make a fortune, maybe it's time to swap your office desk for a kitchen table. Forex trading isn't all fun and games. Sometimes it's more like a wild roller coaster ride. Now, let's talk about the hazards of being a Mrs. Watanabe. Imagine, one moment you're sipping your morning tea, scrolling through currency rates, and the next, you're on the edge of your seat, heart pounding as the yen takes a nosedive. It's like being in a thriller movie, but the monster is an unpredictable market. Forex trading is a high-stakes game, and Mrs. Watanabe's face risks that could make even a seasoned trader's hair turn white. Currency markets are extremely volatile and can shift faster than a sumo wrestler on a skateboard. One minute you're dreaming of a beach vacation in Okinawa, the next you're hoping you have enough for the bus fare. And then there's the carry trade. In theory, it's a great idea. Borrow in low-interest yen, invest in high-interest dollars, and collect the difference. Simple, right? Except when the dollar crashes and you're left holding a bag of depreciating currency. It's like betting on a horse only to watch it decide to take a nap halfway through the race. There's also the risk of getting too caught up in the excitement. Forex trading can be addictive, and it's easy to lose sight of reality. One moment you're a cautious investor, the next you're throwing caution to the wind, convinced you're the Warren Buffett of Forex. It's like eating just one potato chip. Before you know it, you've finished the whole bag and you're left with nothing but crumbs. But despite the risks, there's a certain thrill in playing the market. It's like riding a bucking bronco. You might get thrown off, but what a ride. So, if you ever decide to join the ranks of Mrs. Watanabe's, remember, always buckle up for safety. So, what do you think about the life of a Mrs. Watanabe? More exciting than you thought, right? It's quite a ride, isn't it? From mastering the art of Forex trading to juggling the daily household chores. And let's not forget the potential hazards. A sudden shift in currency rates could mean spilled coffee on the keyboard. We've shared a glimpse into this fascinating world that many might not know about. But now, we turn the spotlight on you. Did you find our journey through the day of a Mrs. Watanabe enlightening? Do you see the humor in the unexpected? Maybe you've got a hilarious Forex trading mishap of your own to share. Or perhaps you're intrigued and want to dive deeper into the world of Forex trading. We welcome your thoughts, your laughter, your curious questions. Your engagement helps us create content that's not just informative, but also entertaining and relatable. So, whether you're a seasoned Forex trader, a newbie, or someone just enjoying the ride, we value your input. Whether you agree or disagree with our take, we'd love to hear your thoughts. So don't be shy and comment below. Well, that's the end of our journey into the life of a Mrs. Watanabe. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Today, we've laughed, learned, and maybe even developed a newfound respect for these savvy trading housewives. From the surprising educational requirements to the hilarious hazards they face, we've seen that the life of a Mrs. Watanabe is anything but ordinary. Their impact on society is undeniable, shaping global currency markets from their living rooms, all while juggling household chores. With their unique blend of domesticity and financial prowess, they truly are a force to be reckoned with. Remember, being a Mrs. Watanabe isn't just about the potential earnings, it's about the adventure, the challenges, and of course the endless laundry. So if you find yourself considering a career change, why not give Forex trading a shot? Who knows? You might just become the next Mrs. Watanabe. Thank you for joining us on this hilarious journey. We appreciate your support and we look forward to bringing you more entertaining and enlightening content. Remember, behind every successful Mrs. Watanabe, there's a pile of laundry waiting to be folded. Until next time, stay curious.